Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to review Norylska Groans by Michael R. Fletcher and Clayton W. Snyder. Norylska groans under the weight of her dead. Winter reigns and the snow and soot conceal centuries of secrets. Katyushka Leonova takes a job with Norylska's brutal police force in an attempt to redeem her family's name. Gendy Antonov takes work from a local crime syndicate in order to provide for his family. And Norylska groans under the weight of her dead. I read this as part of the SPFBO because this is an SPFBO 7 finalist. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why there? The most immediate thing you'll notice about this is the structure. It is told in alternating chapters. On the one hand we have Katyushka's story and on the other hand we have Gendy's. They both have very clear and distinct voices right from the get-go. Both stories are utterly absorbing and we really dive deep into their experiences. Katyushka is almost hopeful at the start, which is really in quite stark contrast to the rest of the story. There are some cracks starting to appear pretty early on, but she has a new job to start and she's pretty hopeful about it. Gendy's chapters are some of the bleakest I have read, and I'm not just talking about Norylska Groans, I'm talking about a lot of what I have read recently. He's really stuck between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, he's trying to regain a sense of his self. He's trying to survive, provide for his family, and on the other hand he has to deal with some pretty significant post-traumatic stress disorder. He fought in the previous war. He is not doing well. He also is having to deal with some pretty significant manipulation from outside forces. We meet a wealth of other characters filling the world with their own stories behind them. Even with the brief interactions we see, have the feeling of characters who are very solidly placed in this world. I thought the dialogue was wonderful. It ebbs and flows really smoothly. It's intense and emotional at times and fits seamlessly within the narrative. This world though is hard and brutal. The cold seeps into you and bodies are not discovered until the world starts to thaw in the spring. And when I say brutal, I mean it is awash in gore. There are a lot of really quite descriptive passages and torture scenes in this. There's a lot. Life is cheap and messy and the brutality is drastic and yet somehow casual. Overall, the descriptive writing is really quite great. Norylska springs to life around you to the point where it's almost nudging for your attention in the background. One of my favourite aspects of the books is the stones, which is like the magic system in this world. I found this concept to be absolutely fascinating and I really enjoyed exploring it along with the characters' different experiences of what happened. You can gain personality traits and memories from these stones, but you can also give them up. If you find you are overly angry in your life, you can put some of your anger into these stones, which someone else can then wear. There are some rules to go with this, which I won't go into because I think the discovery of the characters makes part of this, but it really does make for some very interesting experiences. What I found was really helpful though was that at the start of each chapter we had a little bit of in-universe literature about some of the world building that we needed to be aware of. Sometimes this can feel a little bit overkill, but I feel like it really worked well for this setup. I found all the information we gathered really quite interesting. But overall, there is just a great amount of world building in this. The world feels solid and like it has a good amount of history, getting us to this point where everything kicks off. Some of the point of view switching, however, didn't work quite so well with me. We often saw the same event happen from both sides, but it meant there was a little bit of jumping around in time. We would experience something, change perspective, and then go back to before the event and experience it again. It just made it flow a little less smoothly at times. But overall, I found the two perspectives worked really well to come together to make the whole narrative. I feel as though I have read quite a bit of gore in my stories, but at times this just felt as though it was edging on the gratuitous, almost as if it was just seeing how we could be shocked now. But overall the story was great, and I loved the unfolding mystery as the characters investigated and figured out what was going on. The setting was incredible, and it is a place that will not let you go quietly. For the SPFBO, I gave this an 8 out of 10. So if you have read this, I would love to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you all soon.